Oh,
All right. Hi, everybody.
I lost it.
Welcome back. And
Welcome back.
faculty, if you could just quickly mute yourselves just to be on the safe side, I think.
Okay. So the first question is the same as it has been. How were the breakouts? I want to hear a little bit about the breakouts.
So if you go under participants and then click raise hand, that's how Jeannie will hear about what your thoughts about breakouts were. So click participants and then click raise hand. So Melta Meg, I'm going to unmute you and you can talk.
Hi. Hi,
This
Jeannie. I'm going to change the speaker view so I can see you. First of all, had I not been stranded in LA due to COVID, I would have participated from Turkey, so merhaba from all the Turks.
Thank you.
And second of all, regarding the breakout room, Davin was extremely helpful with all of us. And one thing he said that really connected was, he said, I'm seeing that all of you are trying to do a lot. And he said, he worded it much better, but he said, like, you don't have to reach this supreme voice teaching level. He really pointed out that it's important to stay in a smaller part of the range for longer and let the efficiency really work its magic rather than move around much. So that was extremely helpful.
Good. That's wonderful. Yes, and a big person on one thing at a time. That you ask for one simple specific thing and you let that happen. You let that happen. Not happen. And when it seems to be consistently happening, then you can say, "Gee, now that you can sing in chest register, could you open your mouth more on that vowel?" And then you see if that stays. May not. If it doesn't, then you have to figure, oh, let's do a cork. Um, so then maybe that stays for a while. Oh, okay, well, let's go a little bit, let's go louder or let's go higher. And then you're adding in one thing at a time incrementally, which is much more likely to be successful. So that was really good feedback. So thank you for sharing that. That's great.
Absolute pleasure.
Now, next person.
All right. So Kathy O'Donnell, I'm going to unmute you.
Okay.
Okay. Um, these breakouts are so wonderful. They're so practical. They're giving us a chance to try out what we've learned, and with a wonderful guide. Our group had Benjamin. He was so encouraging. And, if we got stuck, whether it was right away or in the middle, we could just kind of look at him and he would help us. Having these, what's it called? The solution sequence is wonderful. We were referring to it. We're learning how to use it. We have to memorize this, I guess.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure about something. And Benjamin said, I have had a teacher walk over to a shelf, pull off a book, read a paragraph, and then come back and work on whatever it was. It's okay to not know something right off the top of your head. It's okay to look it up. And I've homeschooled my own 7 children, and I always told them, I can't teach you everything, but I can teach you how to find it out. And so, you're teaching us, but you're helping us to know where to look. So thank you. I love it.
Welcome. Thank you so much. Okay, who else?
Jolene, I'm going to unmute you.
Lee. Nice.
Cool. Hi, Jeannie.
Hi,
Nice to
Jolene.
meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Oh, yeah, this has been a really intense process for me, and a lot of stuff around just self-worth and confidence has been coming up, and every breakout has been easier and easier. And so yesterday, the breakout, I was just like terrified. I actually had a meltdown beforehand. I'm like, I can't do this. And it was okay. And I was a singer. And then today I was a teacher. And, I just really focused before coming in on remembering that it's about the student. Like, it's not about me and me being nervous or proving if I'm learning this stuff well enough. It just like in that moment, even if you only have 15 minutes one time with somebody, you can maybe pick up on something that could help them to experience something new. And yeah, it was just like, so I wasn't actually nervous at all. Once that started to happen, it just felt like I want to help this person, I want to like, so very cool reframe for me about what teaching is and what I have to know. And like, I'm also figuring it out as I go, but it just feels so natural when you approach it that way. So
Yeah, you know, everybody's figuring out it as they go. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
all
Yeah, and then the whole group was just so lovely. Everyone I've seen here has been so lovely. So we actually set up we're
facilitated.
gonna get together outside and do another little practice session just with a few of us to keep practicing what we're learning. But yeah, it was
Facilitator.
what's that? Oh, Karen.
Karen, wonderful.
And she was lovely. Yeah. Yeah, super. I mean, the information is extremely helpful also, but for me, the biggest piece has been just to realize that like I can show up as I am and have something to offer, and then continue to build that, and that's actually for me that's what's been the most impactful for me. Like I've had Benjamin, I've had and so to be able to pass that back to somebody else is like I think that's actually the point is what I'm kind of gathering, and then the knowledge fills in that's the cherry on top, right? So yeah,
That's great. Well,
so I love it so much.
I'm so glad that thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeannie.
Okay, one more, Billy.
All right. So, Elzin, I'm going to unmute you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Jeannie. Thank you so much for everything that you've taught us this week and for all the faculty as well. I loved the breakout session. I've been teaching for a year or so. I teach a lot of beginners, and I'd never had anybody watch me teach before, but now I really want people to watch me teach more. It was so helpful. I noticed one big thing for me was so since I teach a lot of beginners, I'm not, and we're all more professional singers, at least I think so. I kind of assumed, oh, what I'm hearing, he already knows, the person that was singing for me. And I was also nervous, so I'm sure I was ignoring some things that would make more sense to do. But I noticed that intuitively what I wanted to do was not what I did. And then when I tried that later, and following along with the solution sequence, and just knowing from having some somatic voice work lessons, once I did those things, they worked, and it was very helpful. And I think it was just good for me to have the realization that like I can trust some of my intuition, and I have this information that I'm getting to refer to. And I was also in level 1, and I think you mentioned something. You said, like every lesson is my first lesson. This is the first time I'm hearing someone sing. This is the first time I'm hearing this person's voice. And I'm really appreciating that information right now, because I think it's super helpful. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Well, again, I could listen to this all day, but please write your comments of what you experienced either in the Facebook group or some other one of our places where you can gather. We do recommend that you meet with each other and try this out on your breaks or in the evening. The only way to get better at it is to try it. And especially here, you can't hurt each other. I mean, you all have some levels of skill. And unless you ask the person to scream their lungs out for 10 minutes, how much harm can you do? So it's okay to say, well, hey, what would happen if you sing this? Or what's it like for you to do that? That's a wonderful thing to do. And we've had many, many people over the years come to the Institute and make friends at the Institute and then stay friends. I mean, they do all kinds of cool stuff. They collaborate on music and they do wonderful things. So, that way, if you don't know something, you have people to go to ask. And lots of stuff comes up. Well, at this point, not so much for me because of my teaching has a different population than it did years ago. But if somebody has to sing, for some reason, sing in something that's a jazz-oriented performance, we have lots of really excellent jazz singers in our community. You can ask them, what should I do with this? How should this go? Or vice versa, you have somebody maybe wants to sing in a choir that's more classical. We have several somatic voice work teachers who did not have a strong classical background or had studied it years and years ago, but now they're participating in a classical performance of some kind with other people. It can go either way. And we have lots of music theater repertoire experts, jazz repertoire experts. It's great. that, I would be silly to say, I know all of that. I don't. And I have to be willing to say what I do know. And I chose quite a number of years ago, I deliberately chose not to keep up on repertoire as new songs were coming in and new repertoire was being developed on Broadway. I opted to wait to let other people handle that so that I could focus on working with the doctors and the scientists and going to the medical meetings and the scientific work, because that was an advantage that I have to be able to do that a lot of other people don't have. Here in New York, we have something called the extralaryngeal rounds, which are held 4 times, I think 5 times a year in one of our big hospitals. Now, of course, with the virus, nobody's doing anything. But it's primarily doctors and speech pathologists presenting their difficult cases. Sometimes it's the residents presenting in front of the big doctors and talking about issues that came up with the treatment. And there's about 5 singing teachers out of all of New York people who have been invited, you don't just go, to attend. And we sit there like little flies on the wall, taking notes and stuff. But at the end, we can ask questions. And occasionally somebody will say, what do the singing teachers think of this? And we can put in our 2 or 3 cents. It's a really, really wonderful opportunity. And how many people have that, right? So I felt like that was more useful for me in terms of my time to being able to help you. But I do encourage you, get to know the speech pathologists in your community, get to know the laryngologists in your community, or if you don't have a laryngologist, there's only 400 of them in the United States. So the ENT doctor, let them know that you're interested in vocal health, that you are a person who knows that it's important to have students be healthy while they sing. They're often very happy to know that you exist. And you can even go as far as saying, do you allow observation? Some do, some don't. Sometimes you can just watch them treat patients. I did that as recently as last year. I just sit and watch. So that is a kind of education you cannot get unless you are a medical student or a speech pathology student. And yet the door to that might be open, and then you become the person in your area that is the go-to person. So that lifts everybody up. Every time we criticize the profession at large and we make an adjustment so that it's improved, we're all improved. And I am in a peculiar situation because I travel so much and I teach teachers so much. I do get a little bit of a bird's eye view of things that I think should have changed and have not. The baby boomers came in and we made some adjustments, but I always feel like, what's the next thing? I was the first person ever to present about Stevie Wonder at the New York Singing Teachers Association meeting in probably the 80s. And we had a couple of very lovely elderly ladies who were originally from Europe. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, from Austria. They always came in their tweed suits, very well dressed. They were always dignified, and they always called me Miss LoVetri. They never called me, so of course I addressed them the same way. Mrs. Whatever her name was, I forgot. Mrs. Smith, not Smith, but whatever. And when I did the Stevie Wonder talk, I was quaking in my boots because I thought, oh my gosh. We're used to having book reports about the latest Dietrich Fischer discount book, and I'm going to have Stevie Wonder sing. But afterwards, she came up. Now, I'm 5'2", and she's looking up at me. So you got to picture that in your mind in her suit. And she said, Miss LoVetri, this was a very interesting session. I like this Mr. Wonder. He's good singing. Thank you so much for allowing me to know about him. And I said, oh, Mrs. Smith, thank you so much. That's so kind of you to say. It's good, she said. It's very good. And she turned around and walked away. Right? So that's the kind of thing that we're percolating, and we're trying to make that connection, as Trinice was talking about, the academia training for the various styles, and then what happens in the marketplace. And I'm trying to bring them, always trying to bring them together. And I have a lapel button that says something to the order of quiet, well-behaved women rarely make headlines or make history, something like that. And so I guess I'm in the profession, I guess I'm not a very well-behaved lady, good girl person. That doesn't mean I don't love my profession and I don't love my colleagues, but I have a right to state my opinion and upset the apple cart where I think the apple cart needs to get upset. That's all. Anyway, I want to take you through the bodywork descriptions, and they are on page 46. And then I want to remind my colleagues, my faculty colleagues, I'm interested in showing Mia's vocal folds, the high-speed video. I usually do that in 3, but I might do it today. And maybe Amanda's too if we have time. And I don't even know if Amanda can get that ready, but just think about it. Okay, so this is the first section. It's in section 8, how to perceive blocks in the body. So even though in the breakouts we opted not to do body stuff because of time, I don't want you to think it's not important. And so you're looking at the physical responses of the person who's singing for you, not to be critical, but just to be observant. What is this body doing as it's in front of you, breathing, singing, and talking? And you need to learn how to be present with that without falling all over yourself to do it. And the way to develop over time is you pay attention to it and you see if anything calls to you, like if you're noticing and then you're noticing and then you're noticing and then you're noticing, then you might say, oh, I keep getting that pull. Let me take a look at this breathing thing. Then you can stop and do a breathing exercise or a physical thing, as you would with anything else. So I gave you some suggestions, and these are just, it's not every possibility, it's just a few. And by the way, with solution sequence, there are bajillion things that can come up in a lesson that are not on the solution sequence. We do all kinds of things that aren't there. That's just the skeleton, it's the bones, so that you have a reference to start with. Obviously, there are going to be things that come up or combinations of things that come up that are not part of that grid. So when you say, well, I want to do it, yes, of course you do. For the purposes of learning, we confined you to this small parameter to get you thinking a certain way. Okay, so just know that it's not wrong if it's something you want to approach and it's not there. It's okay. This is the same. So when we have limited movement, which could be so limited as to be almost nothing, or no sensation, limited sensation, very poor coordination, a lack of awareness in general, or some part of the body is consistently cold to the touch, there's too much attention in that part of the body. The person talks about it all the time. Like they're always talking about their rib cage all the time. Or they have had a lot of issues with that part. Could be real issues, like maybe they had a surgery or an accident, but that part kind of has its own life. Or you could have health concerns, systemic health concerns, or injury concerns, which impact the singing that you have to be aware of. And this is both people who have a chronic illness that have to take medication for it basically for the rest of their lives, or that they've been in a situation where they are having to contend with an injury that has an impact on how they stand or how they breathe or how they move. You can't just say, oh, that doesn't matter. It might matter. And then emotional stuff, when the person is very emotionally agitated about a part of the body, you want to know what that's about. And then the breathing patterns refuse to get organized. And there could be other things. This isn't everything, but this is for you to understand when you're noticing the body, you're paying attention to the physical feedback. These are things that you're like, well, I don't know where to start. There you go. Start with this. These categories include things that could have obvious reasons, or it could be the person knows about them and they'll tell you if they do, or they have no awareness. You know, my illustration I give of a person comes in for a lesson and you do all the things we do in the beginning, blah, 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 this, that, the other. And then at some point you say, do you know your right shoulder is pretty far up? And you could get any response. You could go, oh, yes, I know. I have scoliosis, and that's sort of how I have to stand. Okay, good to ask. What do you mean my right shoulder is up? How is it up? Well, look at it. Well, it looks normal to me. Everybody in my family stands like this. Oh, really? So, you know, then you maybe do some shoulder exercises, and eventually it comes down, and the person goes, oh, gee, I didn't know it could do that. Right? So that's why we ask. We don't necessarily make a pronouncement about it, yet you inquire. And sometimes you find out the person's very aware, maybe they've tried to work with it, it hasn't worked in the past. You can then go on from there, or you can do some of the things I'm going to suggest in a minute. So I've described those things, what's it like if it's not moving, what's it like if there's no sensation, or very poor sensation, poor coordination. You'd be amazed at how many people, I do this exercise a lot in terms of coordination. Ah, oh. So my hand is moving. When I start the sound, I go out the to the edge of the exercise, the fifth, and then I come back again at the same time. You know how many people can't do that? It's amazing. The hand goes first, it goes after, it goes too fast, it goes too slow. Something for you to know. My oldest and closest friend has cold hands. She's had them all her life. She's a perfectly normal, healthy person. She's 71. They're still cold. I don't know why, but that's just her, you know. But I used to occasionally, you know, if I had to touch her hand, it's like, geez, your hands are so cold. Oh yeah, well, they're always that way. I'm a jiggler. When I sit, my leg goes, just has always done that. I don't notice it. And she used to sit, we go to the movies, and she'd sit next to me and go, and then my leg, she'd look at me, sorry. I said, drove her crazy. Aww. We talked in level 1 about the psychogenic voices. These are people who maybe have some post-traumatic stress disorder from anything. You know, I worked briefly, when I was doing a master class down in Tennessee. Oh, Lord, I don't remember the name of the school. I'm so sorry. But anyway, I was working with someone who had recently returned from Afghanistan. She had been on the front lines, and she was beginning to sing. And she said to me, she said, bear with me, sometimes I get a little bit jarred from some of the sounds or some of the breathing. I'm working on some of the PTSD stuff. I said, oh, absolutely. I will have all the patience that you need, and thank you for telling me. Okay? Good to know. Okay, now you already know from the wild and wacky stuff I wrote in level 1, and here I say again, I assure you that some things have happened in a singing lesson that I have never seen in a book about singing, and I have absolutely no way to prove or disprove why it happened. It just does. And I know the people who've been working with this approach for quite some time will then come and tell me, you know, I was teaching, I had this impression about such and so thing, and I finally sort of mentioned it, and it turned out I was right. And it's almost like we get so sensitive to what's going on, it's almost psychic or unexplainable. I'm not promoting this method as that. I'm just saying that if it should happen to float by you, don't necessarily push it away. You know, sometimes there's information in the sound that you can't explain in a rational way, but there it is. There it is. Okay? Now, so I want you to read all of the various things about so forth, and then we talk about body work. Body work, comes from the concepts of Wilhelm Reich, who was a student and colleague of Freud in Vienna. And he believed that the body holds energy, trauma. He called that armoring. And he believed that you needed to work it through and work it out to get it to go away. Because if you didn't, it would inhibit your ability to breathe. And if your ability to breathe is inhibited, it limits your ability to feel, to be alive in a kind of quickened way. You know, the old-fashioned word for dead and alive was quick, the quick and the dead. So the alive and the dead. So quickening something enlivens it and allows you to be more in it. And so over the decades, lots of different kinds of ways of working on the body were created, and are different ways that you can access your physical self outside of our Western, especially American, physical fitness, go to the gym, we know that's a good thing. But there's all kinds of other things that are not that are still very informative. Susan Postel, who has been on faculty many times, is a wonderful Pilates teacher in Los Angeles, and a lot of us have done work with her online. She's brilliant. She knows lots of stuff, all different kinds of things. And the sessions are very illuminating. There are other people here who are yoga teachers or Alexander teachers who do different disciplines amongst our community, and they'll tell you how valuable some of these bodywork sessions are. As a professional singer, it's valuable if you want to try Qigong or Tai Chi or some of these other ones. So I'm just going to read you through quickly, and you can read the details later. The idea that bodywork is useful, and I'm not suggesting that you do bodywork on your students. I'm suggesting that you have bodywork done on you. And if you live in an area that doesn't have a lot of it, go online and find some of these things. These days, you will probably find Alexander people teaching online, or Pilates people teaching online, or Tai Chi people, or yoga people. We have a lot more online resources because of the virus, where you could still do it, even if you don't have someone to do it with you on a personal basis. And so here we have the list, and this isn't everything. This is just the mainstream things that we mostly have here in the United States, and probably a lot of them also in Canada, probably in Europe, Australia, New Zealand. I'm not sure about what's available in other countries, but probably it is there. And then we have the internet. Of course, we know acupuncture has been around a long time, can be very helpful in lots of ways. Then we have the Alexander technique, that's a 4-year training program, works primarily on spinal alignment from the head down, very valuable for any kind of voice work. Aromatherapy is allowing the fragrances of different oils and basically spices and flowers to help you relax, to unwind your system. Bioenergetics was developed by Alexander Lowen, who was a direct disciple of Wilhelm Reich, and has to do with getting the body to release energy through specific exercises. And I think those books are in your bibliography. Body-mind centering is something called, developed by Bonnie Bainbridge Cohen, covers a lot of things, including voice, and has lots of different specific applications and exercises. Qigong is a Chinese exercise program that's been in existence a long time. Many different versions of that, and can be very useful. Chiropractic, I'm very big on chiropractic. The medical profession was against it for a long time, but my chiropractor, who was our guest last year, Dr. Karen Erickson, was the first chiropractor that we know of who was invited to practice in a hospital here, Beth Israel Medical Center, where she was for 3 years. So things are changing there. Craniosacral, it was developed by John Upledger. It's a very gentle, very small movement system where the head is cradled in the practitioner's hand, and Very gentle movements affect the spinal and brain fluid, which is very relaxing and freeing. Moshe Feldenkrais was an Israeli engineer who ended up developing a program of body work, which is also very small and very repetitive. There are two forms. You can do it with yourself, on yourself, and somebody also can be a practitioner that does it with you or for you. I found it very helpful when I had frozen shoulder. It was the one thing that made a difference of all the various body things I did. Hikomi was developed by a man named Ron Kurtz, who was an offshoot of Alexander Lowen. So this is the generations. I don't know how available it is because Mr. Kurtz is no longer with us on the planet, but very good body stuff. Jin Shin Da was an offshoot of, oh, now I can't think. Anyway, it's an offshoot of one of the other Japanese approaches, and it's similar to or in the vein of shiatsu. Of course, there's medical massage therapy. Here you have to have a license to do that. You have to go to school and get a license and pass a test. The primary school here of massage is Swedish, but there are all kinds. And Pilates was started by Joseph Pilates, who was known here for helping dancers, especially when they were recovering from injury. His program is very popular and is now taught by lots of people all over the place. He has special machinery he developed, which allows you to isolate and work specific muscles, but you can also learn to do it without those machines. Polarity is a form of energy exchange. If you go to a polarity practitioner, they will probably only touch you very lightly, and it changes the energy field in your body. And that is very similar to Reiki, which is a well-known method here in America, which is an energy balancing practice. It seeks to restore order to the body in the vital energy centers, and is very well known and accepted. Rolfing is called structural integration now, and Ida Rolf, who was the creator, worked on the soft tissue or the fascia of the body to help it get unstuck. When we have trauma or when we don't move very much, the fascia gets stuck to itself. That fascia is the connective tissue between the muscles, and the muscles slide on it or across it. But if it gets adhesions or it gets little bumpy, stucky places, then it doesn't slide anymore, and then the muscles don't move properly, and you can experience discomfort and pain. So a Rolfing person gets in there and separates out one layer of fascia from the other. It can be painful, but if the practitioner is good, they don't force you to be uncomfortable. I've done the whole series. And Rubenfeld's energy is created by Ilana Rubenfeld. It's a different version of many of the same ideas of body energy, physical, emotional stuff, different ways to re-pattern and reconnect with yourself. Shiatsu is finger pressure massage, came from Japan. They work on the meridians, the same meridians that are in acupuncture, and they apply finger pressure until that point releases or lets go, which they learn to feel. Therapeutic touch is taught in hospitals. It used to be a part of the nursing degree at NYU, New York University. It was created by Dr. Dolores Krieger, who was the head of the nursing school for a while. She's passed away. And Dora Kuntz, who was a psychic and, kind of a natural healer. And it's a way of working off the body with the hands to move the energy, and it's apparently quite well researched, and there's tests on that. Traeger work was created by Milton Traeger, and it's a way of moving that has to do with circular movements. So they move your arm in a circle, your hand in a circle, then they move your arm in a circle, and they move your shoulder in a circle. And by the time you've got circles going all over the body, you feel like a wet noodle. Harder to find. We all know that there are many kinds of yoga. In addition to Hatha yoga, there are all kinds of variations in that. So there's Iyengar, and there's Bikram, and there's Kripalu. There's dozens of different kinds of yogas here. Some are more athletic and vigorous. Some are more relaxed. Integral yoga is very calm and quiet. not demanding. You have to find out what it is by experimenting with it. Some people like the vigorous nature of Iyengar or Bikram, but the integral yoga or Kripalu yoga is very gentle. So it's a wide span of possibilities. And Kundalini yoga is a kind of yoga, let's see, and physical health. Okay, so at least this is some things, not everything, but this is to let you know that if you find something and you can participate in it, you may end up with quite a bit of useful information about your physical experience and some deep physical changes that are lasting and useful. Okay, now, do we have any of the videos, Billy?
Yes, so we have Michelle has those queued up, and so does Amanda. So it just depends if you want Mia first or Amanda first. Amanda also has videos of your vocal folds queued up.
Okay, let's do Mia first because Michelle presented that, and we should let people know. Kulning, Kulning.
Okay. Hi. So I got an email from Mia, who was with us when I played my self-listening exercise the other day, and she says she would like to chime in. Not sure about the function in Kulning, but I think it is head. That really high stuff. That is what it definitely feels like, not like a high belt. I think it is interesting because it is something that is very hard to vary. But when you learn it from making a straight, very bright tone in head voice. I was told that the vocal folds are stretched by the guy who scoped me. He says he has filmed many women doing Kulning, and that the main specific thing he notices is that the arytenoids, the muscles responsible for closing in the back, swing in and make the space very narrow. So I'm going to show you an excerpt of that. Mia is the one who introduced Kulning to us several years ago at the Institute, where we had the participant recital, and she just got up and did that, and it was amazing.
Gothenburg Suite.
So I'm going to share my screen with you, hopefully. Share screen, share computer sound, and share. Just playing a portion of this video, and I could play it again if you want. Stop.
Here.
That part's chest.
Vad vill jag göra med nu?
Now she's making a regular soprano sound.
Ja, men nu, ta in nu med den där vräkiga kulningen igen. Okej. Gör samma och så håll bara en ton för att se om vi kan få det att svänga.
Yeah.
Should I play it again, or is that good?
No, I think that was great. But
Okay.
Billy, can you find Mia? Can you unmute Mia?
If she's here, she was here. She's watching after the fact, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe we'll have her put a little video in for later. Anyway, if you were a cowboy, you'd hear that for sure.
Yeah, Mia's not here in real time, but she'll see the video.
All right. Now, Amanda, what have you got?
Okay, Jeannie, so I have the videos from myself where I scoped singing Can't Help Lovin' That Man in belt, mix, and head voice. I also have the ones that the scoping company gave you of rough sounds, high to low.
Okay. I think the high-speed videos are, we can do like later, but how long is the one of you?
I can give you as much of a snippet as you want.
Well, I mean, I think we can steal a little bit of time from the break and then go over a little bit, but let's do yours first.
Okay. Which do you want to hear first? The belt, the mix, or?
Doesn't matter, just like people to see the comparison of what happens in your throat when you change gears.
Okie dokie. So, bringing that up right now, and then I'll share it. Share screen, share computer sound. Can you guys see that?
Fish gotta swim,
Can you hear?
birds gotta fly. I gotta love one man till I die. I can't help loving that man of mine. When he goes away, that's a rainy day. And when he comes back, that day is fine. The sun will shine.
Okay, so
Recording.
this belt. And can you guys hear this okay?
It's behind, the image is behind the sound, because the image is kind of skipping, but it's good enough. It's okay.
Okay.
Fish gotta swim, birds gotta fly. I gotta love one man till I die. Can't help loving that man of mine. When he goes away, that's a rainy day. And when he comes back, that day's fine. The sun shines.
Recording.
This one was hard because I
Fish
use way too much vibrato, and now I know that
Yeah.
for future reference.
Okay.
This one is especially vibrato-y.
Okay.
Fish gotta swim, birds gotta fly. I gotta love one man till I die. I can't help loving that man of mine. When he goes away, that's a rainy day. And when he comes back, that day is fine. The sun will shine.
Great. Thank
It's
you.
also really, that was the hardest one to do with the scope too, was the more classical.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a really, even if the video was a little bit lagged behind the actual sound, one of the things that you can see here is the variation of how much the larynx went up and down, how much the pharyngeal space was either wide or narrow, whether or not the area around the vocal folds was tight or loose. When it got harder to see the vocal folds, that's constriction. And the ear can hear that when she's belting, it sounds different than when she's mixing, and mixing sounds different than the classical sound. And so the various adjustments in the open-close quotient, the laryngeal position, the amount of vocal pressure that the air is causing, the shapes of the stuff inside. I mean, it's really hard to catch all of those details with the naked eye, especially at real speed. But we do have some high-speed video, which allows us to see really small movements at normal speed of just the vocal folds. And so when we're talking about making cross training, Amanda is a very good example of somebody who has managed to do that and sound appropriate in each of the styles, but still sounds like herself. When the virus finally goes away, she's going to go back and do some more research with the doctors in the hospital. They're very eager to have her come and to explore this further. And maybe they'll add, some strobes so we can see how the vocal fold vibration changes. All right, now you have another chance to get your cup of coffee or go to the bathroom or watch the movement videos. Please use those videos. They're wonderful. And I will see you back at 5 minutes after the hour. So it's still 15 minutes from now at whatever time you're at. For us here, it's about 12 minutes to 5, so about 4 or 5 minutes after 5. Okay? See you.
Word button. All right, everybody, welcome back from our little break. So this next session, Jeannie is planning on working with somebody. Once Jeannie says what she's planning on working on at the appropriate time, once again, you'll click on the participants button and then the raise hand function. But just wait until Jeannie says what she's looking for and then says, and now raise your hand, and we'll go based on who does it first.
Okay, so in this session, I'm interested in finding somebody who is a classically trained person who is trained to sing classical literature, who would like to try stepping outside that box and going to some CCM something, or somebody who's a jazz, pop, singer-songwriter, country singer, and musician who teaches singers who would like to cross over into a more classical sound. So if you are one of those people who wants to figure out if they can go on the other side of the fence, raise your hand in the participants section, and I will work with you.
All right, so Kim Lauritsen, I'm going to unmute you.
Great. Hi, Jeannie.
Kim?
Hi there. Kim Lauritsen. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm a mezzo-soprano, classically trained, and I have a lot of, sorry, I'm just plugging in the power on my computer here. I have a lot of students who come to me wanting to sing pop and musical theater. I do my best to imitate the sound, but I'm finding out from the reactions with people I work with, I'm not quite there.
Okay, all right. So how about, I like to start in the middle and go up and then come back to the middle and go down. So I'm going to start you on E. And I just want you to do the vowel E twice. E, in whatever is your comfortable default.
Sure.
Kim, you know what? Can you back up a bit?
Sure.
Because then
I'll also turn down my gain a little bit on my Yeti here.
The voice is okay, but I'd like to be able to see.
Sure, I have a limited range with my headphone cords, so I'll do what I can do.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
It's great. Okay, so now let's do ooh. Ooh, ooh. Is it okay if I talk about you like you were a specimen?
Please do, yes.
Okay. For those of you listening, I got a sound that I would say, oh, this is a classical singer. I identify with that. So it wasn't like she said she was a classical soprano and then she went, ah! Okay, so her statement matched with what she did. And if she's really a soprano, she can get up to the G without turning blue because
mezzo soprano, yeah.
Yeah, mezzo. I didn't write mezzo. I wrote soprano.
Oh.
That's a little bit higher than probably you would go if you were unless you were warmed up. But you have to think about that in the back of your mind. And so now we're going to go the other way. So let's do let's do ah. I was going to say something else, but let's go ahead and do ah. Ah, in whatever's comfortable.
Sure.
that's B as in boy, middle B. And now we heard at the end there a little chest, right?
Mhm.
So, okay, that makes sense, right?
Oh, sorry, couldn't hear you. Gotcha. Ah,
Good, one more.
ah.
Okay. So that is the kind of sound you would expect a mezzo-soprano, classical mezzo-soprano to make in that pitch range if you didn't ask her for anything special. That's kind of the default that you would expect. But it goes over to head pretty low in pitch, which in classical literature is good, but not so much for CCM.
Right.
So I'm going to mess around with Kim's throat. I'm going to say, come on, chest register, let's see if we can get you to go higher. And so the classical position being more on the lower side than the higher side. That doesn't mean it's down like, but it's not either. So we have to kind of hold that in the back of our minds. And as part of doing some work with chest to try to coax the chesty quality up or the speaking quality up, we are going to affect some of that default in the inside indirectly through the vowels, the pitches, and the volume. Okay, so the first thing we're going to try is right? Because we're going to go in a mixy direction, but eventually more with chest, which is primarily because I'm starting on the low side. So Kim, do on the chesty side.
Okay.
Now, what volume is that on 1 to 10?
6, 7, 8.
So just give me a 4 or 5.
Okay.
Okay. Now, can you tilt your head up just a hair? One more. Now, in order to stay on top of the pitch out here to us, sing your a little bit more on the laughy side.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Everything else the same. Okay. Does that feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Would you say that's still pretty chesty?
Yeah, it's very chesty, but it's not pushed at all.
Okay, so let's just see where else it goes if we continue to go up. The worst case scenario, it'll crack or grab or stop or flip, and so then we'll know that.
Sorry.
Yeah, those are very good. Good, keep smiley feeling inside. Yeah, one more. So now the high note's an A flat, and that's usually where you start to feel something like a pulling or a stretching or a feeling like, are you really serious that you want me to stay here? In the throat. Did you experience that?
I wouldn't go as far as like pulling, stretching, but yeah, the quality was different. It's starting to sound a little bit on the top edge of what could be done in that way.
So there's the situation is that below this area, she was pretty comfortable. And she had a good solid chesty place. And then we get to the A flat, the A, the B flat, the B, and the throat says, wait a minute. Why do you want me to go there? You just spent the last 20 years telling me go this way.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could go maybe one note further and she'd have to make it louder. But before we do that, then we're going to do a mitigating exercise to accommodate a little bit this. And this is where the staccato exercise can be helpful because it's not sustained. So we're going to do laughy, chesty, mixy, ah. So it'll be like this. Like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Okay.
Now do your best to stay on the chesty side all the way up. That was it. That was perfect. Throat's going, wait a minute, wait a minute.
It's fighting.
Go on.
Okay. It's good. On top one.
It's fine. Come back down. Good. Now, we could do this for longer, but to speed it up a little, now I want you to do no, and I want you to do it on the bratty side. So, kind of like you're a bratty kid going, no, I don't want to.
I'm familiar with those.
No, 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 no.
No, 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 no.
Go up and come down. No, 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 no.
No, 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 no.
Just like that.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
No, 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 no.
Now, as we go higher, the mental picture of this might help. So just keep in your mind as an actor, like you're scolding a naughty puppy or something. No, 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 puppy, don't eat the furniture.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
One more.
No, 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 no.
Cool.
No, 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 no.
Start loud on the bottom. You can bring your head down a little bit.
No, 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 no.
Okay, so how hard was that?
It's yellier than I'm used to, but I wouldn't say it's hard, like, it's not vocally hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit on the shouty side.
Yeah.
But, you know, to learn it, that can happen. You can get a little shouty. It didn't hurt you. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
A lot people are afraid of that. Oh, but I'm yelling. Yeah, but after you yell, are you still okay? You still feel all right vocally? Yeah. Right, so this is how you open that doorway to going up a little more in chest. Mm-hmm. And right, because it's short, it's not dwelling on sustaining. And then the n of the no is to help make the sound a little bit more forward, brighter. But the O vowel is helping it also not go up too much. It's not like going, yeah. Now, the next one, after you've done this probably for longer, is to do the tongue out over the lower lip. So we're going to try that.
Okay.
And think of this as, again, laughing. That's an easy way to make an association, especially with students. If you can engage their creativity and think, that doesn't cost me, most of it doesn't cost us at all, anything, because it's a natural function. So let's do with your corners of your lips towards your ear and your face smiley, okay. Tongue on the lower lip, and moderate volume with a slide. You corrected yourself the second time you were on the nastier side than the first time.
Right.
Great. So stay with that correction. and you fixed the pitch by that little bit of help lifting.
Yeah.
Terrific. Good. Now another device here is the fake sneezy thing. So you kind of fake sneeze. It seems to help the soft palate go up. So do a couple fake sneezes and then sing.
Okay.
It helps, right?
Yeah, that was fun.
Do it again.
Breaks.
Made noise. Okay. Remember,
Yeah.
I warned everybody. Sometimes it makes noise. It's okay. Sing through the noise. Really good. Come back down. Same way. Good. Keep cheating the first note. That's good. Okay. Now, let your tongue go into a more normal place. Try to keep your head so that you don't have to make it, that your head is overly straight.
Okay.
Just your head here and go on, do the same thing. That's a mixy chest there. It's nice. Doesn't sound classical.
No.
Okay, so now let's try taking some of this toward bright speech. So again, by bright speech, this might be brighter than your normal speech. And so if you think of it as a character voice, like if you were going to say, "Oh, I really liked that. Oh, wow," instead of your normal voice, you're going to sing, "It is a very nice day," like that.
It is a very nice day.
Talk on the bottom note.
It is a very nice day.
That's good.
It is a very nice day.
Okay. Now, how loud is that?
Middle, 5, 6.
Okay, so it's not really super loud, right? So bump it up a little more, 6 or 7.
It is a very, it is a very nice day.
Deliberately open the vowel on the ve and don't do ve, do very. It is a very nice day.
Okay. It is a very nice day.
That makes it a little easier. Now lift your head a little bit, just a tiny bit. And you're thinking that you're allowing your neck to have a little cervical curve, okay?
It is a very nice day.
That's okay, that's mixy on top. Let it mix.
Okay. It is a very nice day.
Ah, that's it.
It is a very nice day.
Okay, now down in the lower pitches again. In this mixy chest place.
Okay.
Smaller inside and higher up inside than your normal sound would be. Good. it's the same thing I said to Dawn yesterday. Now that you've got the small position inside, the bright position, you can actually think that you can let everything relax back here. So it's like it's small and it's dropped.
Okay.
It's not like relaxed, open, dropped. That's the difference between the classical and the not. Perfect. Just stay loud. Now, instead of cracking and backing off, it's rolling through that register change. But it's not flipping into some other place.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Do it again. One more. Let the bottom rest in your throat a little more. So let's do, it is a very nice day. It is a very nice day.
It is a very nice day. It is a very nice day.
Now, the only one that's giving you trouble is not the top, it's the middle.
Yeah.
It wants to go to mid. So you tell the second pitch, stay in this squeaky place. The high is great.
Okay, good. It is a very nice day.
So let's change the words. Now we'll say, may I go home to your house? There's more open vowels there.
May I go home to your house?
That's good.
May I go home to your house?
So does that feel belty?
Yeah.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Pretty belty. That's the B. And you got all the way up to the E flat before it really went up to like a full head.
Excellent.
Right?
Yeah.
Make this sound. You don't sound classical anymore.
Right.
Did it hurt?
No, not a bit.
See?
Yeah.
This you have to practice until you get comfortable. You have to get used to it. And then don't at the same time practice your classical sound. Do that like early, and then don't mess around with this at the same time. Do this later. Do that, or do like one day classical and one day this. So you can give your throat a chance to go in and out, because otherwise your middle will get very mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
Go to sing your regular repertoire and it'll be like, well, where am I going?
God forbid.
So, you don't want it to do that.
Right.
If that's even more than your throat is comfortable doing, then do your regular sound 2 days a week and this sound only 1 day a week. You have to kind of get enough out of it like you just did to get it. You don't have to take it into the, the highest note you've ever sung in belt, or to do it so much that you feel like, ugh. But the repetition, even 10 minutes at a time, within 2 or 3 weeks, you'll feel like, wow, I could really sing there. And then it gets easier and easier to cross back and forth over time. 6 months from now, it'll just happen. You can talk to Amanda, she's really facile going in and out. And that way, when you go to sing stuff for your students, it won't sound like it's not quite there.
Right.
You okay with that?
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Welcome. My pleasure. Thank you for being a guinea pig.
Yeah, thank you for letting me. It was very helpful.
Yay!
Thank you.
Now, Jeannie.
Billy, I'm sure we have other candidates there.
Yeah, we do. Now, we also had a faculty list of people to put forward. Did you want to work with one of the people from that list?
Yeah, we could.
Great. All right, Noah Rice, you're up. I'm going to unmute you.
Awesome.
Okay, so I missed the first name.
So his name's Noah, and this is what you need to know. Noah's a professional singer who's been working on cruise ships 17 shows a week. He's a reviewer. He did his training in 2015, and he's got a very heavy vocal load, so he's just interested to work with you.
Okay. All right. So Noah, I'm assuming that on the ship you sing all kinds of stuff, right?
All kinds of stuff. It's a piano bar type show, and I'm often taking requests, so I'm jumping from Some Enchanted Evening with a big old classical sound to a jazz tune to Michael Jackson to country, and so lots of readjusting, and I'm sitting down the whole time.
Right, that's a tough job, boy.
It is.
It's a lot to ask. But anybody that's in a situation like that is doing the same thing. It's being an all over the place job.
Yeah.
All right, so let me have you just do a little bit of a. I like E because it's kind of light. Let's do 2 5 notes on E. E, but you're going to be an octave lower than it just was.
E. E.
One more. Okay, what volume would you rate that to be?
About a 4 or 5.
Okay. And if you had to put yourself in a category, are you more of a baritone or a tenor?
I'm more of a baritone when I'm doing the musical theater stuff. Everything else, I'm kind of, in order to get through the workload, it's all been in just a mixy place. And what I struggle with is carrying chest voice higher because I feel that tires me out more than anything.
It will. You're very wise to do as little of that as possible. One of the things that you can do with something like Sun Enchanted Evening is don't make it chestier, make it darker.
Right.
Okay? So that you're not going Some Enchanted Evening. You're just doing your nice mixy place. Hello. Some Enchanted Evening. And then you overdo that with the dark vowel sounds.
Right.
And the average person's not going to know that. But it won't put all that chesty pressure because you're right, that'll wear you out right away. Okay? So I might have you fool around with that a little bit. Let's warm up a little more. Do yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Good. Right there.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So that's mixy, right? Not so chesty.
It's a little mixy.
I mean, would you say there's a lot of chest in that?
I'd say it's mostly chest, but it's not that brassy chest thing that would be louder.
Okay. All right. Well, wherever that is, do that at about not more than a 5.
The chestier version?
No, what you were just doing, but don't get louder than a 5.
Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Now you've got a little bit of a G sound in there. It's almost like a gag.
Yeah.
You just do yeah with the Y, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Good.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
This is mostly still for me. Try an octave there. Where can I do it? I can't do it there. Let's see. But here, I want to do it here. Okay, so try to make your bottom note not quite so dark, a little brighter on the bottom. Okay, now did that high note roll over into head or not?
A headier mix.
Right, so it got lighter.
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to keep those two pitches talking to each other. Okay, so it's still not bright enough on the bottom.
Okay.
got to find that shape inside. Do it again. That's A flat. Now, again, what volume would you say those were?
Right about 5.
Okay. What happens if you make them both a little louder? Okay. Now, I mean, that's a beautiful sound, and you're doing it well, but you know, I'm gonna complain about it and say it could be different. This is another place, Noah, where your smiley sound could verge a little more on the sneezy side. So do a little bit of that. That vowel, not but Now, do you ever vocalize in that sound?
For the past 2 years at this vocal load, I have not done much voice work day to day. Just a ton of straw and trying not to talk, to be honest.
Yeah, well, that's probably smart. I was going to say voice rest is probably your best friend. But if you want to take some of the pressure off the machine without having, you know, you don't have the capacity to not work. I mean, you can't decide to take 2 hours off because you feel like it. This is something that you can make more use of. The brighter the sound, the better it carries. Then for the less volume you need in it. Okay?
Right.
It's a little hard to accommodate because our image of ourselves is we like the warmer, nicer, more open sound. Like we're drawn to that. Nobody wants to go around singing like this. But to tell you the truth, the more of that you put in there, the better. Dr. Daniel Boone, who was a very famous speech pathologist, always used to say, forward focus. And he liked to get people to feel like that forward focus. Now, in a cruise ship, in a noisy restaurant, in a loud bar, a little more of that is going to make you audible. It seems much louder, even though it's not the same. It's no more decibels or no more breath pressure. So the Old Italian school, the classical Old Italian school, they had a name for this, which was called squillo, like a squeal, little piglet squeal. I like to go in the direction of pussycats and do meow. So just listen, I'm going to do meow. So do that. Meow. What does that cost you vocally in terms of your throat?
Not as much as I thought it was going to.
Oh, hardly anything really. So do it again. Meow. Meow. Okay, now we can imagine all the virtual meows that are going on all over the head. Okay, so now you're going to sing. It's meant to not sound pretty, so don't let that throw you. Meow, 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 meow. On those same pitches.
Meow, 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 meow.
Yep.
Meow, 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 meow.
Now I'm just going to say to the people who are listening, doesn't that seem louder? But I'm sure he's not deliberately trying to do it louder. I didn't ask him to do it louder. How does it feel to you?
Louder.
Do it again.
Meow, 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 meow.
Come in very firmly on the first note.
Meow, 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 meow.
And do it louder on the way up, all the way through.
Meow, 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 meow.
Okay, if it cracks, do one more.
Meow, 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 meow.
Now, I want you to open your mouth like you were in Hamilton. I want you to do everything that you can to get your mouth to move. Meow, 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 meow.
I'm trying not to let the top one be in a different place, right?
Well, actually, it doesn't matter. If it flips, it flips. Okay?
Meow, 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 meow.
Fine, but make your mouth move a lot. And you can lift your head a little teeny bit if you need.
Meow, 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 meow.
Almost.
Meow, 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 meow.
It's all right, just cracked. Go on.
Meow, 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 meow.
So here, that's, you know, your A flat and your A. Your throat is going like, why am I doing this? But this is a pathway in between the heavier, more classical sound and what you've been doing and everything else, where you've been taking it lighter, which is smart. But this is going to split the difference. So if it cracks a little on the top, it's okay. Do it again. Stay flat.
Meow, 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 meow.
The noise.
Meow, 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 meow.
All right, stay up there on the bottom note.
Meow, 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 meow.
One more.
Meow, 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 meow.
Now, say to me, let's say, today is Wednesday, up high. Today is Wednesday.
Today is Wednesday.
Even more nasally than that.
Today is Wednesday.
So you're trying to sound, you know, country westerny, and you're speaking in that higher pitch range. Today is Wednesday.
Today is Wednesday.
Do that again.
Today is Wednesday.
Okay, now, how does that feel in your throat?
Today is Wednesday. Pretty much kind of like what we were just doing, not much pressure.
It doesn't cost you too much, right?
Right.
So I'm suggesting that your default could be a little more like this. Because then you wouldn't have to reinvent the wheel to go back and forth in all these styles. Would hang the middle a little more together, right? So the 9-tone scale will tell us a little bit more about how that might work. So do your E. You start out first with the E being chipmunky and squeezy and small. E, E, E. Now, sing like that because that's not unless you're going to do Alvin the Chipmunks, that's not a finished product place, it's a doorway place, right? So E, so I don't know if my lift vocal cord will do this, but E, it makes noise, but I can make the sound. E, charming, love that. Now, as insofar as how that feels, it feels effortless, but of course I can't make the left vocal fold become a normal vocal fold just because I can sing the sound. But then when you come away from that, aesthetically that's not so unpleasant, and that's actually a different physical place here for the base of the tongue in the back of your mouth. Now, I mean, it would be stupid for me to tell you, oh, put the base of your tongue over here in position number 3, and you know, right? So you just get this by listening to it. So start with the squeaky one. At whatever volume is comfortable, that's someplace around, 5 or 4, 6, like that.
E.
That's fine. Get to the pitch on the top, on the 5th. Get there. Go straight through. Now you notice it's shaking a little bit there, right?
A lot, yeah.
Okay. So the muscles here on the base of your tongue, these are the upper constrictors. They're going, we don't want to go there, Jeannie. We don't like this position. So be as nice to them as you can and just tolerate it a little bit more. Do it again. Yeah, it's fine. We're so good. It might crack. It's If it does, it does. Yes. Hi. Hi, Crack. Okay, now I know that that's not particularly easy. Hurt?
No.
Oh, it just feels shaky and sounds kind of squawky.
Right, but it's really got that crazy brightness to it.
Right. Can you do one more? It might mix here. That's fine. If it does, you want it to mix. That's good. Right. So in this adjustment, you sound more like a tenor and less like a baritone because it forces the position of the larynx to be in a slightly higher place, but without killing you, right? So now do a little bit of that. Ah, oh, terrible. Ah, but I was an octave higher than you. Now, you want to come in with not a lot of air on the first note. Take a breath, hold back on the exhale, and come in with that big smiley ah. Yep. Lighter on the bottom note, headier. So if you want to be more of a rocker kind of sound, that's what this will take you to. Good. More upper teeth. Ah. Now, in order to help the high note not jump, we need a little more closed quotient on the first note. So just do 3 glottals in a row. Do ah. Sorry, I don't know what pitch to do this on. I have to do it lower. Ah, ah, ah. Like that, but you're going to do it here. Ah, ah, ah. The second and the third. Perfect. Do it again. Ah, ah, ah. Ah, ah, ah. Now, if I have any of my speech pathologists listening to this, please don't have a canary. Colleagues, please don't have a canary. Everybody says bad, bad, don't do this. But when I was recovering from my paresis and I could barely sing, this exercise helped me more than everything else I did. And it really helped those vocal folds get the message of closing here. Now, because this production is light, it wants to go to head, except that's not helpful for what Noah's doing in his job. So what we're doing is we're cheating, singing a light sound with a long closed quotient and a bright vowel in his mid-range. Okay, a lot of fancy stuff to know, doesn't help. But he got the correction because the second time he did it, it was better than the first. So go on. Ah, ah, I can't do it. And the pitch range. Ah, ah, ah. The fake sneezy place first. Ah, ah.
Oh.
Yeah, good. Inhale into that lifted place. Ah, ah, ah. Go back to your octave. Ah, it's a charming sound. Ah, that's right. That's it. Take the chance to be just a little more on the belty side, especially on the bottom. Yeah, I know, not fun. Do one more. Now, even though his throat is not making those high notes, it's kicking and protesting and rolling over. Just the attempt is enough to make that neural pathway between his brain and his throat. And to give him a little more of an option between either he's singing this big classical sound or he's singing everything very heady and light and careful, which, believe me, is a very good solution that you've come up with to survive all those shows you have to do. But this will walk you in between the two. So I want you to sing May, the month of May. So May, 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 but bright, but not necessarily as bright as what we just did, okay?
May, 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 May.
That's too quiet. You gotta do it louder.
Okay. May, 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 May.
Uh-huh.
May, 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 May.
Can you take a little deeper breath first?
May, 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 May.
Because you're sitting, to some extent, your breathing is going to get on the lazy side. So really make yourself take a breath and keep your ribs working and keep your belly strong.
May, 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 May.
Right, nice and clear on the first note.
May, 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 May.
How was that?
Can I do it again?
Yeah.
May, 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 May. That's okay.
Did it kick?
No.
No. So then do it a little louder. Go for making it loud. Let's see what happens.
May, 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 May.
Now make sure your high note doesn't go May. May.
May.
Small and ugly.
May, 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 May.
More.
May, 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 May.
Okay, so when you do something like Some Enchanted Evening, what key do you do it in?
I think it's in C. It's so low. Some enchanted... I might do it in D, probably.
Okay, so sing a little bit of it.
Some enchanted evening.
Good. That's nice. But now I want you to do it from where you just did. So we're going to sing nya, 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 as if you never heard of how it's supposed to sound.
Nya, 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 nya.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Nya, 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 nya.
Okay, now, Noah, I need you to do more physical work in your jaw, in your mouth, and your face. Nya, 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 nya. More like the rap stuff, okay? Do it again.
Nya, 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 nya. Nya, nya.
Go on.
Nya, 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 nya. Nya, 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 nya. Nya, 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 nya. Yeah.
Yes, good. Okay, so now you're going to sing, I hope you're going to try to sing, Nyanyo, 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 and see where it goes.
Nyan, nyanyo, nyanyo, nyanyo. Nyanyo, nyanyo, nyanyo.
That's it. Go on.
Nyanyo, nyanyo, nyanyo. Nyanyo, nyanyo, nyanyo.
So where the O is, that's where you have to sing the song. What's that feel like?
Not lighter, but brighter and easier.
Yeah.
Less encumbered.
Right? So the placement, if you want to call it that, is very different this way. It's very different this way. Ah, some enchanted evening. Some enchanted evening. You don't have to go, some enchanted evening, because you're rightly resisting that. Something inside goes, okay? Now, if you're singing pop rock stuff and so forth, you can go in that very brassy sound and it won't make you tired. But for the music that you want to sing that sounds more classical, you don't have to go into that dark, deep place as much as you do. Can you sing it and stay more some enchanted evening? Or there?
some enchanted evening, you may see a stranger. You may see a stranger.
Mouth more. You may see a stranger. Open. Here. This.
You may see a stranger. You may see a stranger across a crowded room.
Good.
That's hard.
Takes more breath, right?
More breath, yeah, and just bright lift, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody, I'm sure, will tell you it sounds great. It sounds wonderful. It sounds classical. It just doesn't sound dark and heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so fool around with this, live with this. Do continue to do what you're doing. Keep light where it can be. If a song allows you to be light, use that. Rest your voice. But this will take some of the pressure off of that other sound so that it doesn't get too soggy. Okay?
Cool. Thank you so much, Jeannie. What an honor to get to work with you. Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you.
Okay, so we are already at the end of level 2, day 2. Amazing. And that means that coming in tomorrow morning, we're halfway through with the whole institute, which is just hard to believe, but that is where we are. We have a recital tonight of people singing for each other, those that signed up and got chosen. I don't even know how they organized that, but Jocelyn's in charge. And please try to come to this, because this is always one of the highlights. People singing all kinds of stuff from all over the place. And it's so enjoyable to see what people bring. Kelly Cadigan, if you're still watching us, I always remember when you and your colleagues from Jamaica came and sang the beautiful songs from your country. It left such an impression on me. And we have had people share songs from their homeland and culture. It has been just a joy to see. So take your break, get your nibbles and your popcorn or your whatever you want to have, your beer. And we will see you at 7. Billy, how are they going to go out and come back, or no?
So it's 7:00 p.m. It's a slightly different link. It's a different link, not slightly. It is a different link than the link for today. And so Amanda's posted that in the Facebook chat, and that's also in the Google group under the evening session for tonight. And that will be the same link for Craig's test collaboration meeting. That will be at 8:30 p.m. So 7:00 p.m. is a participant recital, and 8:30 p.m. Craig will be meeting with people to help with test questions.
Okay. See you later.
And faculty, we're going to close this window, and then faculty re-click the link. We're going to have a quick meeting now.
Okay, good.